Hello, beauties, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. If you are new here, then my name is Mariah, also known as Life's Beauty, and I'm so glad that you have found me. And if you are a returning subscriber, then thank you so much for joining me again on another video. Happy 2025, guys. I can't believe it is here already. We are here to talk about my 2025 goals. So I am a person who just like to make goals. It's not really something that I'm sticking to rigidly, but it is something that I like to do because I do like to see the progress that I have made throughout the year. I am a person who does have a very bad memory, so I do be forgetting things, guys. And I like to use YouTube as my video diary. That is what I started it up for. And then as we have progressed, it's kind of become like my hobby documenting. And we just do a lot of fun crafts on here and I just take you along with me. For this year, I have four major goals, and those goals get put into subsections. So I do have goals about like personally, I want to like update my wardrobe. I want to be a more put together individual. Then I do have YouTube as a category just because it is something that I want to be consistent at. And with it being something that I want to be consistent at, it does kind of have to have its own category so that I can know where I'm going wrong in it, what I need to change about it, or what needs to be improved. Then another one is my healthy hobbies. I think this year it's gone into its own section. And I do have some goals that I want to reach with my sewing. And last but definitely not least is my journey of faith. At first, it was something private to me, but as you kind of get deep into your faith, you can't help but bring it into your life. If you're on a faith journey, then you can also hear these goals and implement them if you so wish to. That light has just, whoa. We're making sure we're making an entrance. With my faith journey, I definitely got into it last year because the year before, 2023, was just a rough year. And then really it was towards the end of 2023, I really started to take my faith more seriously. And I really wanted to learn about God because I used to always say I was a Christian and I never knew what a Christian was. I couldn't tell you any Bible stories. I couldn't tell you the meanings of any Bible stories. So I decided that I wanted to read the Bible. I just have the New King James version of the Bible. I do want to get the Old King James version because it's just what's more widely read. But the New King James version is working for me. It's not easy to understand. That's one thing about the Bible that is very misconstrued, is that you can just read it and understand it. And it's definitely a lot of parables. So basically, like what the person is saying isn't meaning that it's a meaning for something else. So I've definitely been learning about that. And I can tell you right now that it has changed my life. Obviously, I don't want to be like too dramatic, but it is definitely a dramatic thing. And it's definitely, like I said, a heart posture thing. Like what works for one person doesn't work for the other person. And it's a very individual relationship. But one thing that I do want to do is finish reading all of the Bible stories. So I would say I've got halfway, but I've nearly through the Old Testament and I've just started on the New Testament. I've read Matthew and I'm into Mark. And when I say read, I do want to clarify that although I do read my Bible, I do listen to the Bible via Apple Music, and it is this podcast called Streetlights, and that has really helped me phenomenally. I can have the time to sit down and read the Bible, but I get a lot more read of it through listening to it. And a lot of people that have put me onto it, like they have read the Bible and they say that what is in the Bible does match up with what the audio description is telling you. So with that being said, I would like to finish reading the Bible. That is a goal. And how I want to accomplish that is by having some time in the morning and in the evening set aside to read it. I mean, it doesn't have to be this big long hour because I don't know what it is for me. Like the hour, an hour just seems like a good time. But I'm just like, Mariah, if you do 10 minutes, 10 minutes is okay. So that is definitely a goal of mine, is to really be in my word morning and night. Till I've read the whole Bible, there's not really much I can say that I need to do because I need to understand it before I implement things. Just for an example, in the Old Testament, God spoke to people, and then she said, what he would like you to eat and what he wouldn't like you to eat. And he says, like, these things are detestable, which means like he doesn't want you to eat them. They're not clean to eat. And then as we go into the New Testament, Jesus comes and then he says, it's not about what you eat, it's about what goes into your heart. And everything is clean and able for you to eat. So I did go through a time of not eating specifically shellfish because it says that in the Bible, in the Old Testament. But then obviously in the New Testament, he's now said, you can eat whatever you like. All foods are there to be eaten. It's not about what goes into your body via food. It's about what you put in your body via your heart. So, again, like as I was reading, I was like, okay, we're not supposed to eat fish, we're not supposed to eat shellfish, we're not supposed to eat pork. And then as we're reading on, it's really saying a different thing. So I'm trying not to implement too many things and be too strict on myself. I just want to be really spirit led. So what I'm convicted to do is what I will do. That brings me on to number 2 with my faith journey is teaching my children. I have grown up Christian. I mean, like I said, I've grown up Christian, but I still don't know all the ways of a Christian or know all the stories and Bible teachings of Christianity. But I'm tending to find that it's not about the religion, it's about the faith. And the faith is having faith in Jesus. I really do want to teach my children that. I did buy them a book. I thought it's way over there, so I'm not going to get it. If I can put a picture up, I'll put it up here. But it's basically a child's daily devotion, and it just is basically the Bible broken down. So those are my 2 main goals when it comes to my faith journey. The second goal is my personal goals, I suppose you would say. It's not really to do with like anything personal about myself. It's basically just me being the best version of me physically and mentally. Mentally, it comes in with the hobbies and the sewing, and then physically it comes with my appearance. So as you can see, it's nothing too major, but I don't always look like this. This is probably the most unput together that I aspire to be in 2025. I have slight makeup on. My hair is in a very basic style, but I look presentable. And believe it or not, that was not the case last year. So this year, I have definitely made it a goal of mine to really work on my upkeep. Really want to set time aside once a month to do my own nails, do my own toes, get myself waxed and do my hair. I really don't like doing my own hair. I've come to find out that I need to like to do my own hair because it is not cheap out there. I did treat myself in December. I don't think it was December. I think it was November or the start of December. And I quickly realized that that was not something I was able to upkeep. I am a nail technician. I am a trained lash technician, and I am a trained hairstylist. So I did set myself time once a month that my children will go away to their grandparents for the weekend and they will come back to me on a Sunday evening. And that gives me just one weekend a month to prioritize myself, to do my nails in peace, to do my toes, to do my hair, and to get my waxes booked in. So I think that that is something that will help me. I know it sounds very superficial and very like, oh, worried about yourself, but honestly, as a mom, I'm not gonna lie, I get a lot of help from friends and family, but it still feels like it's never enough. Or it feels like it comes at the wrong time. Like you'll just really want to do something and then you'll be like, oh, can you help me watch the kids? And then they're like, oh, sorry, I'm busy. Or then when you don't have anything booked, everyone wants to take the kids. Whilst I do have help, it is very slim pickings. If somebody's not available, then mum is not going. Still in the personal section is my clothing. I have just had to really get ruthless with myself and be like, you need to start having fun with fashion. You're not looking your best. And whilst it is, again, another vanity thing, like we shouldn't really care about what is on us, it's nice to feel put together. You don't want to always feel like you just look a certain way. It is a saying of when you look good, you feel good. And I do believe that that does have some truth in it. I don't have a problem with like my dressing up to go out. My issue is always on a day-to-day basis. I just think, what is the point of putting on clothes to drop the kids to school and then to come home, play with the baby, clean up my house, cook dinner? But there are clothes that I can wear that aren't dressed up to the nines, but I can still feel good in. And, I can still do those tasks in. leads me nicely onto sewing. So sewing is something that I have picked up the end of last year, and it is something that I did really fall in love with once I got over the fear of my sewing machine, because that is what stopped me from doing it for so long. That and having a crazy toddler. I mean, my two older girls, they're old enough to occupy themselves while I got things done. He did stop me from doing a lot of things because he's just very mobile and very active. As he's gotten older, like, hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have some more free time, or I will just have to make the time like I do. I'm not really a night owl. I'm not a late person. I'm an early bird. However, with neighbours, sewing is not something that you can be an early bird with. I do live in a flat. I live in a small flat. So not only would my neighbours hear, my children would also hear. But with that being said, I have thought a lot about sewing this year. So I do plan to make clothes. That is what I've got my sewing machine for. I do have my make line coming out, so you will get to see like what I call my challenging myself makes, because that's what I put on my make lines. And then I just do have some things ready to go that I need to cut out and sew up, because they have been on the make list for ages now. I want to make at least 80% of the new items coming into my home this year. So, long story short, not really buying from the shops. I don't want to do a no buy year, because there's definitely some things that I just know my skill set wouldn't allow me to make. If I feel like I could seriously accomplish this, no matter how challenging it would be, at least give it a go before you go and purchase it. If I have events coming up, instead of thinking, okay, I want to go to the shop and I'm going to buy this dress, I'm going to buy this new item, I can just make it. I found places where I can source material from for cheap enough that if I really plan and schedule, then I will have more than enough time to make the things that I want to make. So that is a little challenge that I've given myself. As much as I would like to be a perfectionist and I would like to get things to a high standard, I'm very, very, very realistic in the fact that there are people out there that have been saying for like 8, 9, 10 years that I watch on YouTube, and they are still struggling with fabrics and cuts and garments. So if they're struggling, what makes you think that you're any better than them? With sewing, I don't really have any set days or set times that I'm going to be doing it. It is just kind of really thinking, okay, Mariah, you do have this time set aside. Let's just get started. I think one thing that will definitely help me with that is keeping my area clean. I do just have a corner in my living room as my workstation. I think what I'm going to do is put away my Cricut things for now and really focus on my sewing things. And then last but not least, it is YouTube. Now, YouTube is a hobby for me again, as well as sewing. But with YouTube, I definitely started it not knowing what I wanted to do. And as we progressed, I decided that I wanted it to be a documentary of like my hobbies and just like learning new stuff. When I decided to film my hobbies, that did take the enjoyment out of it. I basically will be trying to take you along as much as I can on actually sewing garments and making vlog style videos, because I enjoy watching those. However, it's not always going to be possible and I have to let it go. I think that one thing I am going to stick to is showing you guys a end of the month roundup. So what I've sold in January, and that will be a consistent video. And then if I am able to kind of film vlog style videos here and there, then I'll take you along with me for that. And that brings me to the frequency of my videos. Ideally, I would love to have 2 videos a week for you guys, because I have enough ideas to make 2 videos a week. I just don't have enough time. I have to stick to 1 video a week. I'm thinking that I want to make my upload days a Thursday, and then if I can and I have like a bonus video, I will get that to you out on Tuesday. So just to recap in bullet point form, number 1, my goal with God is to read my Bible morning and night, and make sure that I'm reading my kids' daily devotional to them every morning. And then with my personal style, I want to set aside 1 weekend a month. And in that weekend, I will have a self-care weekend, which is where I do my nails, I do my toes, I do my hair, and I do my waxing. When I leave my house, I want to make sure that I am doing my bare minimum effort in order to feel good about myself when I'm on the road. And then number 3 is my fashion. I want to elevate my fashion and I want to have fun with my fashion. I don't want to be wearing clothes that I know that I'm not going to feel comfortable in. And if I've looked for something that I just know I don't know my best in, I will change. With my sewing, I want to make sure that I am making most of the new items that I acquire this year. I really want to make sure that I am giving it my best of trying to at least complete a garment before just going out and purchasing it. I don't really have set times for doing my hobby. I don't really have set days for doing my hobby, but just making sure that every week I have at least touched this sewing machine. And then last but not least, YouTube. I want to make sure that I have at least one video out for you guys a week. Ideally, 2 videos. That would be perfect. Anyway, guys, I think that is my cue to sign off. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to live life's beauty, because life is beautiful and it's out there waiting to live by you. And hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye.